Hey friends, chemistry, chemistry, chemistry. We had so much chemistry. We got to talk about chemistry because it's not what you think. I get this all the time and I want to help you. Zalman Nelson, online therapist, helping people transform their relationships by transforming their relationship with themselves. So let's talk about chemistry, you know. Listen, granted, when you meet somebody and you feel a good connection, the conversation flows, yeah, there's definitely something to it. There's so often we use these words and it's like, but what do you mean? Like, I'll take someone, I'll slow them down and be like, I'm feeling really anxious. I'm like, okay, nice. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Where in the body are you feeling it when you then say anxious? And so chemistry, let's talk about chemistry. I'm not saying that you shouldn't feel physical attraction, emotional attraction, enjoyment of the conversation. I just want you to be mindful of something that typically, until you start connecting with yourself, until you start getting to know your emotions, until you see your types, until you spend time reflecting on your patterns, until you have gone past your last three partners and said, what did I like and not like in each one? What was comfortable and uncomfortable that I experienced and I know is good and I know I need to avoid, and you're aware of it, and then you're applying that going forward. Until you've done that, you're at high risk for attracting somebody with chemistry, because chemistry means this is a person who's going to trigger the heck out of me. This is why we have to get into a much better emotional relationship with ourselves. And it starts with simply getting to know the feelings that typically come up. But you have to understand, you have a choice in life. Either we're going to start to connect with what we feel. We're going to take moments where there's strong emotions, strong feelings coming up in an argument, a situation. We're going to sit down, connect to it. Where in the body do I feel it? Use a feelings chart. Let me grab a few words, start naming those feelings, because we don't have any vocabulary. We have about happy, sad, angry, and then it all runs out. We don't know what we feel. So here's what we do. We've got to go from being a victim, things happen to me, I have feelings, I don't really know what's going on, I run from my feelings. No. Let me start to connect. Let me start to get to know me. There's this inner kid part freaking out all the time. Let me start to get to know the feelings that I'm feeling, so I can become much more aware of what's going on in these moments, to start to learn. Because either I'm going to connect with these feelings, get to know them, learn from them, explore it, think about other times I felt those feelings. When as a kid did I feel it? What's the unmet emotional need that's going on there? You can only do that once you bring your mind into more of a relationship with your heart, when you start to think more consciously about the feelings. And until you have words to name those feelings, it's just this kind of flowing water all over a table that's not sitting into a cup. A feeling word. I feel anxious, scared, nervous, fearful, doubtful, under attack. Like, to put some real words to it, get to know it. Then you can start to think about it, contemplate it, work with it, okay? You can't tell, a mechanic can't work with different parts of a car. And it's like, well, until I know the names of the parts, I can start discussing it and working with it. This is not working, that's not working. They can have a normal conversation. Everything has a vocabulary to it. Every field that you're going to learn, any subject matter that you're going to learn, has a set of vocabulary to it. Either we are connecting to our emotions that are regularly coming up in these moments, or I promise you, and I don't want it to happen to you, I want to help you break out of it. But if you find yourself saying, I keep getting stuck in the same pattern, I keep getting the same types of people, you're attracting the same kinds of people that bring out the same kinds of emotions, that bring up the same kind of dynamics, that leave you feeling in the same way. And early on in the relationship, you're going to call that chemistry. It's not. It's somebody who's about to trigger you, abandon you, mistreat you, disrespect you, make you feel exactly as you felt growing up as a kid in your home and throughout the years. And we go, oh, that's normal. That feels typical. Great. It's not great. We don't even, sometimes until you realize that this is off, until you realize there's a pattern, we will experience certain kinds of treatment that make us feel in certain kind of ways, being harshly criticized, never getting it right, we'll experience it as normal. The person who has a boss who always criticizes everything that's wrong, you never get it right, and they grew up in a home where you got a 95 on the test and the parents said, where's the other 5 points? That person will experience that relationship with the boss as normal on a certain level. So either you are facing your emotions, connecting to them, working through them, and then I don't need partners, people, situations, and jobs that will put me in touch with those feelings, or I'm going to keep attracting the same types over and over again. And don't blame yourself. Your attraction system is perfect. Perfect. That's what you should say. The fact that I keep getting the same types of guys, the same types of girls, the same types of friends, the same types of situations, your attraction system is working perfectly. If you put in the same destination on the GPS, it gets you there every time. What you're saying is, it's not my attraction system that bothers me. It's the end result. I don't like that. Well, why do I keep getting that end result? Those types of people bring you into certain situations and relationships and dynamics that bring out the same types of feelings again and again. And if you would name those feelings and connect to them, explore them, and get to know them, I literally tell people, stop, here's a chart, put yourself back in that moment. Where in the body were the emotions? If you could feel it, great. If not, not. Give me 5 to 6 feeling words. Great. Here are the words. What do you think about those words? When else have you felt those words? Now we're off. Now we're working. Now we're connecting. Now our emotions that come up, I don't have to run from them. I don't have to flee from them. I don't have to self-medicate them and drink them and drug them away. I don't have to kick up a storm and argue with another person. So we're arguing about another point and my feelings can go back to sleep. I'm facing it. I'm connecting to it. I'm getting to know it. I'm learning a ton from it. I am, in effect, building a relationship with that part of myself. And I think that is really the goal of therapy, is to help someone build a healthier, effective, functional, emotional relationship with themselves so that they can navigate any situation that comes up. Either we are developing that, or consistently you will get people and partners that bring out those same feelings. Remember, sometimes people say, sometimes you may catch yourself saying, you make me so angry. You make me feel so irritated. No, I want to correct that. It's a choice of how I want to feel. And the person is not making you feel anything. The person is putting you in touch with very familiar feelings. There's something about them. They're saying, they're doing their thing. They have their own triggers. And in response to that, because it's similar and familiar to something in your past, you're reacting to that person plus everything from my past that's begging for my attention that I never tune into. Not your fault. No one ever taught you, don't know how to do it. But I'm taking all that past stuff and I'm putting it on top of this current situation because it's so similar, and I'm just adding gas to the fire and it's out of control. Are you a couple that regularly argue about the same thing over and over again, and it spins and spins and spins and never finishes? It's because the issue is an issue. You're late. I don't like it. You didn't call me. Why didn't you call me? Why didn't you message me? Fine. And then the screaming, the yelling, the intensity, and it never resolves. Why? Because for that person, it's similar to abandonment emotionally, physically, whatever they went through as a kid. You not being there is an issue. Plus, it looks exactly like what I went through as a kid. And instead of dealing with my own past baggage, issues, wounds myself, it's so similar to what you're doing. I'm taking my past, I'm putting it on top of it, I'm throwing it on you. It never works. It never works. When I tell this to couples, they relax. They get much more calm. They see the difference. They say, we want to resolve our arguments, but they're so intense. I'm so triggered. I'm so angry. And it's like, well, tell me every time, tell me the typical argument that occurs. Tell me the most recent argument that occurred that you couldn't resolve. Okay, what were you saying? All right, what were you saying? What was the situation? Okay, stop. When he did that, how did you then feel? Okay, this and this and this and this and this. Okay, have you ever felt that in other times? Oh, yeah. With my dad, with my mom when I was a kid. Oh, okay. Tell him, same thing. What were you feeling? Well, she said this, and I felt like this and this and this. Oh, when else have you felt those feelings? Well, when I was a kid, this happened, that. Whoa, there we go. So what happens? There's 4 voices in the conversation every single time. We're talking about the surface level, we're talking about the issue, and then underneath, what you're saying and doing feels so familiar to something of my past, and I need to work on it, but I don't know how, and I'm not aware of it, but it's coming up because it's similar, and I'm taking all that and dumping it on here. You'll never resolve such a situation. So you will always attract a person into your life that will bring out those familiar feelings. If you don't like that, so then you do the work, you connect now, think about your last partners, think about childhood, think about times you're triggered, any times you're triggered with anybody, friends, partners, business partners, anywhere. Anytime strong emotions come up, tune in, connect, get to know those feelings on a deeper level and explore them, get to know them. Go to my website, zalmannelson.com. There's freebies over there. There's a trigger method over there that walks you through it. Or go to Google Images and look for feelings chart and start to connect to those feelings. If I do that, even a minute a day for the next week, don't wait for a trigger moment to happen. Think about one that happened earlier in the day, earlier in the week, a year ago, 10 years ago. Anytime strong emotions came, there's a bid for your attention over there. Go connect and get to know it. If and when I do that, well, then I don't need to attract chemistry partners that are going to trigger the heck out of me. I'm good. Automatically, the 2 things happen as I do that consistently, and I'm getting to know it. And I see how moments in the present are loaded with emotion that are familiar to things of the past. I'm replaying an old script as I work with that, even a minute a day, connecting and connecting and connecting. And this is literally what I do in sessions. And I set people up and I help them get clear, and I set them out to work for the week, and they come back for their session next week. We go deeper into it and make the connections. if you do that, when you do that, I don't need people to come into my life to kick up a bunch of familiar feelings. I'm already well in touch with them. Two things occur. I start to get very good at seeing these chemistry types coming a mile away, and I say, no. You know that scene at the end of the first Matrix? It's like, no more. You know, that's where we get to that growth point. And on top of that, and this is important, we start attracting different types. I don't need to attract types that are going to trigger me. I can attract better types that I can form a better relationship with. It's happening automatically in the background. So this is the path. If you want to stop attracting the same types over and over again, be careful of chemistry. You know what that means? Sometimes you meet someone and it's a bit boring. Yeah, keep going. Can they handle themselves? Are they emotionally mature? Have you gone through your past relationships and picked out bullet points of what did I like and enjoy and not enjoy and need to avoid from each of those relationships? Because they're good and bad, all the relationships. They're not pure good, pure bad. How is this person? Do they fit? Do they have some of the important things that I need? Are they free of some of the things I know trigger the heck out of me? Yes, then keep going. First date, second date, third date, let it go. Because what happens is the more that I get to know somebody and the more that I can feel safe and secure and trusting with them, the more attractive they become, the more appealing they become, the more natural, real, effective chemistry truly comes out. Not that fake old stuff where you know the same thing's going to happen again and again and again. Go free of that.